I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Education for May 28th, 2013. Kathy, would you call the roll?
Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
Here.
Here. Greg Hodge, will you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Barshinger, are there any, any changes to tonight's posted agenda?
We'll make a minor change, but we'll do that during the consent agenda, so there are no other changes or additions.
Okay, so do I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry, was it Hodge? Moved by Hodge, second by Blakely. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, the agenda is approved. Now we will begin our public hearing for the final budget amendment for the 2012-2013 school year. I declare the meeting open. Dr. Ron, would you like to give an introduction?
Sure. During the month of April, the board saw the proposed amended budget for 2012-13. At that point, you published the date and time of the public hearing, which is right now. We did publish that in the Daily Herald on April 26th within the timelines required by statute. There have been minor modifications made to the amended budget since that time, and that's outlined in the board memo that's in the board packet. Such modifications include we were able to lower the food service contract based on the year-to-date trends of the monthly billing. We included the short-term costs of the tax anticipation warrants that were approved at the last meeting. As well as adjusted some of the rental income from the Batavia Fine Arts Center to the positive. So our surplus our estimated surplus has ended in a more positive position than when the budget was originally adopted in September. We are currently projecting a surplus of $120,168.81. Sorry if my reading was slightly off. I was trying to read there rather than look down. But at this point, it is prudent for the board to take input or any comments from the public. And once all of that has been received, I recommend you close the public hearing. If the board has any questions that they would like to ask about the tentative budget, you can do so during the action section of tonight's agenda.
All right. Now is the opportunity for public to address the board about the budget amendment only. If you have general comments not related to the budget amendment, you'll have an opportunity to address the board under item 4. Any comments? Okay, I see no comments about the budget amendment, so I close the hearing.
I think you should take a motion to close the public hearing.
Oh, we didn't have that in my notes.
Okay. Sorry.
Do I have a motion to close the hearing?
Motion. So moved.
Second.
Moved by Blakely, second by Stoops. Can you do a roll call or voice?
Voice is okay.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Under agenda item 4, we're now going to hear about our celebrations. BHS teacher Mr. Miller is here to talk about the accounting award. Mr. Miller, would you join us at the table?
Go ahead, come on down behind him or sit next to him. Yep.
Some space here.
This is our representative from the AICPA, and so these three fine young men were in a national accounting competition as far as the spring. They put a lot of hours in after school, on weekends. They wrote a script, they put a video together, produced the video, submitted it to the AICPA, and have first place honors. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Lee at this time.
Thank you. Each year, the American Institute of the CPA's website, Start Here, Go Places, sponsors, as Mr. Miller indicated, a national high school student competition centered around the accounting profession. On behalf of the AICPA and the Illinois CPA Society, I am proud to announce that the team that finished first place in the 2013 Project Innovation Start Here, Go Places competition for creative excellence was from Batavia High School. Team Accounting Pros. Excellent. The student team members include Stanley Walden, David Madrigal, and Zach Vilges. And their faculty advisor, who you've already met, is Jeff Miller. And I have checks I'd like to present. Here, my your co-board member, Jan, is here today. Where do you want to?
Yeah,
Right here?
Right there is
Okay.
great.
All right.
Because our camera's right behind you. So.
Behind me.
Yep,
Okay.
that's- Yep.
Sorry, too many cameras, too many places.
Ma'am, come on.
Okay, Stanley Walden. Thank you, congratulations. They each receive a portion of the $4,000, and then we'll get to the one for the school. So would David Madrigal please step up? I would like to present your check. Congratulations. And Zach. Good job. Gets a grant in the amount of $3,000, and I would like to present that to the teacher, Jeff Miller. Congratulations.
I don't know, those checks are going to get away. I don't know. That's a great problem to have.
Perfect.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I know.
Next, Mr. O'Connor, will you join us to provide details about the Rotary grants? Oh, there you go.
Good evening, Board. I wanted to come in and commend 3 reading teachers from Batavia that have done a fantastic job. Christine Sheffert, Elaine Modine, and Crystal Anderson worked in conjunction with the Batavia Rotary. They used $800 to buy about 14 families 10 books apiece. So they went to the Batavia Apartments on April 25th, and they showed reading strategies to the parents as well as to the children. They were there for about an hour. We have plenty of pictures, and it was, like, again, $800 total. So I wanted to commend them for them taking the time to doing something so great for the community.
And Dr. Hitchens, can you come forward for our next item?
And Nick Kelly we need for this as well. So it is my pleasure, I guess we're gonna sit. This is your usual table anyway. It's my pleasure to talk about Nick Kelly here. He, when he was a freshman, he interviewed for the student ambassador position. He's a junior now, so his 2-year term is ending. And when he applied, he came in with a stack of teacher recommendations, and he was very well prepared for his interview, and he has been no less prepared for these board meetings and has done a commendable job bringing the voice of the students to the Board of Education. He's instituted some chats that he's had students come and talk to him about a variety of things, not all of them being off-campus lunch either. Seems to be his favorite topic, but you've done a great job, and you're welcome at all the board meetings, but you've done a wonderful job explaining to the students about the board's role and also bringing their voice to the board. So thanks.
Thank you.
Good job.
Next, we will move to public comments. If anyone wishes to address the board this evening under public comments, please see our recording secretary, Kathy Scafidi. She'll give you a pink form that has our board policy for addressing the board. Please put your full name and address on the form, as we are required by state law to keep a detailed set of minutes for our meetings. If you would prefer to provide comments to the entire board in written form, there's a blue form that Kathy can give you to do that. When you address the Board of Education or administration will not enter into dialogue on an issue. This doesn't mean that we do not take your issue seriously. If you have unanswered questions, a board member or an administrator will get back to you regarding your matter at a later date. If you have any props or visual aids that you wish to use to address the board, please have those reviewed by Dr. Hitchens, our board elected secretary, prior to your presentation. We ask everyone that addresses the board to please come to the microphone so they can be heard. Tonight we have quite a few pink forms, so if you hear your comments have been stated by a different speaker, you may choose to just submit your name and comments on a blue sheet. The board will see those, but then you would not take the time to repeat the comments. In the interest of allowing everyone a chance to speak, your comments will be limited to approximately 2 minutes. We really value public input and appreciate your willingness to be respectful in your comments. First, I would like to call Alan Wolf to the microphone, please.
Thank you for sneaking me in early. I have a meeting to go to in 20 minutes or 10 minutes. I will try to be brief. I'll try to fit within the 2 minutes limit. I am here tonight to address you on the issue of John Dryden and the possible action that the board may take against him. I was made aware of this having a student in one of his classes, and I just cannot believe that we're actually considering as a school board allowing or taking action against a teacher for actually putting into practice what they're trying to teach. The Fifth Amendment, each one of you, when you took your oath to be on the board, so that you would uphold the Constitution of the United States. I don't know if you remember that when you took it, but it's on the state website and it is in there. I take this very seriously. I may not agree on anything politically with Mr. John Dryden, but his right and his ideal of teaching these kids to think on their own and that they have the ability not to answer those questions, which I was not aware of the survey. I don't know how many of you would allow your children to take that survey, especially with their name on it, and incriminate themselves if they were to answer it truthfully. I guess my main thing is you have to think about the oath that you took, what the teacher is there to try to teach these children, and what were you actually going to use the survey results for? You know, I have real problems with the survey or the questions that I've heard from the students, what they were asked, and what they could possibly be used for. I have real problems with that, and I believe that John Dryden was actually using a very practical lesson so that these kids could see that, you know, just like math, it fits into everyday life, and these kids need to know that that Constitution is there for them. So I really hope that you take that seriously when you make your decision on whatever deliberations you do, and do not take any action against him. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wolf. Victoria Williams. Victoria Williams.
I wasn't first. Hi, I'm Victoria Williams, and my student is a high school student, a graduating senior, so a lot of excitement going on. Besides this, so when I heard about the survey, it was after the issue with Mr. Dryden being disciplined, and I prepared something, so let me speak it really quickly. With regard to the recent social emotional survey of the high school students, I believe there are larger issues that are being obscured by the district's focus on disciplining Mr. Dryden for correctly informing his students of their constitutional rights. In my opinion, one bigger issue is the sketchy appropriateness of encouraging a captive audience of minors who are expected to obey the implicit authority of teachers and staff to fill out a potentially self-incriminating survey without telling them right then and there that this was an optional survey. In addition, the opt-out email that was sent to the students' homes did not convey the potential for self-incrimination the survey posed. I don't question the district's motives in choosing to survey the students or choosing a survey tool, given the fact that my daughter is in the class that lost two beautiful students to emotional issues. I do question whether there was an appropriate way to get at the answers they're seeking. The lack of confidentiality is a major factor of concern for me, and the universality of the tool, the way it was used, when it maybe would be a better second step tool after students had been screened by teachers, staff, or parent referred screening, would make more sense to me. I question the actual statistical validity of the survey. Did the district consider that they may not get honest responses? My student reported to me that some of the students sitting next to her when she took it said they weren't going to answer the questions honestly. And part of that was because their names were right on the paper. Could the survey have been administered better? Does the survey tool take that validity issue into consideration? As a taxpayer, I'm concerned about the cost of the survey tool. I went on the survey tool's website, and I wonder whether we as taxpayers are going to receive a follow-up report with an aggregate summary of the information provided by the survey. There's a lot of questions that should be answered and maybe should have been considered before the survey was given. Running out of my time here. So my thought is this: questioning Mr. Dryden's choice to inform his students of their legal rights when the district didn't inform the students shouldn't be on the radar here. Making this a personnel issue rather than an administrative issue is further obscuring the problems with the survey itself. And I think I'd like to see the district remove its focus on Mr. Dryden and direct its focus on the survey tool so that we can get to the motive of the survey tool and have it work the way it needs to work for our district and our students. Thanks.
Dottie Solomon?
Hello. Last week, I learned that at Storm School for next school year, general music will be taught in the students' classroom instead of in a music room. The music teacher will have her equipment, keyboard, books on a cart and travel from room to room. Music education delivered from a cart fails to meet students' needs in at least 3 ways. Number 1, visual learners are deprived of seeing bulletin boards which impart musical information. All students lose a stimulating visual music environment. Number 2, kinesthetic learners will be less likely to have classroom instruments available to them. Can a teacher move the same equipment on a cart as would be available in a music room? No. Number 3, auditory learners will suffer unless the music teacher can move a stereo system of the same quality that can be kept in the classroom. Music is sound. Quality music education depends on quality recordings and quality sound reproduction. We know that experiences with music contribute to the development of critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, and an appreciation of diverse cultures. Please provide all district general music teachers the space to give their students an excellent music education. Please find a music room at Storm School.
Charles Grimsey?
Good evening. I'm here about the issue of the survey, as well as the teacher John Dryden, who is an amazing teacher, as well as, you know, he taught the first history class to me that, quite frankly, wasn't terrible. He made learning, like, he made you want to learn. And I mean, look, right over there, mission statement, always learning, always growing. I mean, you'd think he kind of embodies that. And in terms of the survey as well, I'm frankly, there's no other word for it, disappointed that you all would stoop so low as to put students to incriminate themselves. Sorry, I'm just really mad. But I think the issue is, I understand why you're trying to do this. You want the best for the students, you want them to be safe, and you said, I think I read somewhere that, you know, things might not be going well in the kids' home life or whatever, and you want to know that. But really, if you want what's best for the kids, you ought to teach them their rights. And it seems really silly and inconsistent to teach them their rights in history classes and then just tyrannically, you know, contradict those views in practice. So, if you'd be consistent and uphold the true ideals of the United States of America, that would be great. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Betsy Zinser? Okay, your comment. Put my glasses back on. Greg Chapman?
Hi, how you doing? I'm here to address the issue of the John Jordan incident, survey incident. I know John. He's an outstanding, exemplary, thoughtful, articulate man, and I'm sure that he's no less of a teacher. I think that he was in the right with what he did. His job is to teach the kids about the history of politics and the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, and I think that he gave them a real-life lesson in that. In no way do I think that he should be disciplined, and I just, I would like to ask you to put that aside, and let's move on. Okay?
Thank you. Scott Bayer?
I have one unprepared remark and then some prepared remarks. If you were remiss if I didn't mention our car wash Saturday. We have the wrestling car wash 10 to 2 in the Main Street parking lot.
There may be a fee for that.
So my name is Scott Baer. I teach a couple doors down from John High School. I've been lucky to be a teacher here for 8 years, and I also, obviously, especially coach wrestling here. And as of this January, I live here because of my concern and care for the community and my wanting to be a part of the community I teach in. I'd like to do a little character overview on John. I'm certain that if you know him, you know he's a little unorthodox, and you know he can be abrasive and sometimes confrontational. As history teachers, we wouldn't have it any other way. But he is able to break through student apathy like no other teacher that I know. I can also tell you that I think that in 100% of cases, his heart is in the right place. I made kind of my judgment about him. I explained this in a letter to Greg Rowland. I made my judgment about him when I first started teaching back in 2005. In that August, Hurricane Katrina had just hit the Gulf Coast, and John took several unpaid days to go down and, well, first he solicited supplies and money and went down to the Gulf Coast and handed out envelopes to people who had been affected by the storm. And I made my immediate judgment that this guy, sort of as a principal guy, he walks the walk, so to speak, and I didn't really need to know much more about him after that, except that we got to know each other after that point. And just recently, he opened his home to me. I lived in his basement for 2 months as our house was being closed on here in Batavia. So I'm not an unbiased source. I have a strong affection for the man, but I do want to say that I think that a meeting like this is a little bit unfortunate. because I think it unnecessarily pits administrators whose life work, I believe it is, to help kids against teachers whose life work it is to help kids. And I don't have any doubt that the aims of the survey was well-intentioned, and I don't doubt that John was well-intentioned in advocating for his kids in this case. So why are we here? It's pretty clear by this point that we as teachers were put in a situation where we were forced to react. Things weren't well communicated at any level. In our classrooms, students had apprehensions. Students had questions. Students worried about how the survey would be used. And we couldn't provide certain answers. We didn't have time to seek clarification. So many of us decided to answer students' questions in a way that we thought was in students' best interest. And this can't be doubted, this is what John was doing. He saw 3 questions on the survey that students were being asked to, in essence, self-report criminal behavior. One about drug use, one and the frequency with which students use drugs.
About 30 more seconds.
Okay, and also about alcohol abuse and one about bullying. I think advocating for our students is one of the most important things that we do as teachers, and it's something that we all did that day. And before the board renders judgment on John's case, here's some facts I'd like you to consider. One, that every one of John's third block students completed the survey, and so he was compliant in administering the survey as compliant as a teacher in the building. And John, in his initial meeting with administration, had asked whether if it was another teacher in the department, if the administration would be going after them and proceeding the way they are, and they told him unequivocally no. And so one has to ask them, why is John in the stocks here? And I guess the question really is, what is the actual infraction? And I think if it's serious enough to yank John away from his students for a day unpaid, fine of almost $500, that the infraction itself should be very clear. I'd like to go on the record and say that if the board is going to approve this disciplinary action against John, it ought to seriously consider the disciplinary action against every teacher in the building that day. Because I can tell you that we've had a long time to talk about this as a staff, a couple weeks now. And every teacher I talked to had advised students in much the same way, and not to answer questions they weren't comfortable with. I'm here to tell you that, as far as this proceeding goes, you don't have to put thumb screws to me. If my basement wasn't flooding that day, I'd want everyone here to know that I would have said the exact same thing to my students.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Alexander Narad.
I'm here to speak about the sanctions against John Dryden. I'm more interested in speaking about kind of the historical and theoretical implications of this rather than the specifics. The American school system is, in addition to teaching to standards and testing and things of that nature, the American school system is set up to create citizens. And to create American citizens, we must follow the Constitution. The Constitution is the basis for which all other laws are created. The Fifth Amendment of the Constitution is basically the right to not have to implicate yourself or incriminate yourself. To ask students to incriminate themselves is a relatively blatant violation of the Fifth Amendment. So I would like to show my support for Mr. Dryden, and would like to say that I'm rather unhappy with this attempt to sanction him. And this action goes in violation of the principles of democratic education, goes against the works of people like John Dewey, Paulo Freire, and that's about all I have to say.
Thank you. Joe Bertolomeo. Joe Bertolomeo. Oh, sorry.
First of all, thank you for having me tonight. I understand probably what I wrote about a month or so ago has caused you some headaches, a little bit of stress, a lot of internal debate. I want to start off tonight by saying something that has not been said enough. I want to commend the school board for the intentions behind the survey. I was in the class of 2002, and we also lost somebody to a very tragic accident. And I would give almost anything, if not anything, to have had something in place to identify an at-risk student, to help him and to save them. That being said, it's the implementation of the survey that bothered me. I think the way it was put into action was, and with all due respect, irresponsible or at least rushed. And by punishing John Dryden, what you did was took an emotional and knee-jerk reaction to something that didn't go the way that had been intended and chose to punish him for it. Whereas what should have been done, in my eyes, was you take John Dryden, who is arguably one of the greatest assets this school has ever seen, and you work with him as opposed to against him. The survey or something along those same lines should still be in place. I would love to see that move forward. I'd love to identify at-risk children without asking them to supersede or break their constitutional rights. At the same time, do it within their rights. John Dryden should be on a panel, much like this, as the best way to go about this, as opposed to sanctioning him and trying to make him the black sheep in this ordeal. That being said, I want to thank you for your time. You really did do a well-intentioned thing. I think you can do better. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Nancy Christensen.
I'd like to speak on the issue of John Dryden. I have questions about the messenger that went out to parents about the survey. I think that I get all the messenger messages, and I did not receive that message. Once I received it from a friend of mine who forwarded it to me, I wondered if the school district was trying to hide something by not sending that message to every single parent. I opted my daughter out because I thought that the survey would be asking too many personal questions, that I didn't think it was the school district's business to know about my personal child. I would like to echo the previous speaker and say I think that what you're trying to do is a good thing, but it was poorly done. But I would like some sort of an investigation into the administration of the survey, and especially the message that went out to the parents. I'm concerned about the reliability of the survey and the reporting of the data, who's going to have access to that information. And of course, I'll echo everyone here in saying that minors have Fifth Amendment rights just like the rest of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul Kofer.
Hello, thank you. I was a member of the class of 2006, and I'm currently a graduate student at City College of New York, and I was an adjunct faculty member there. And I would like to speak on the matter of Mr. Dryden as well. I think that he was right in his actions, and I don't agree with the board's decision to sanction him because of that. I think that given his decision with limited information, to sanction him as a result of the decision that he made would undermine his authority as, as a teacher and someone who's capable of, making reasoned decisions as an educator. And as someone who has had to approach students, as an adjunct faculty member of City College, I think that a teacher does the greatest disservice to a student when they impart knowledge upon them or impart any kind of command upon them simply because of their authority, and continue to apply or imply that they should make decisions because of their authority as the educator, or to broaden it as the authority that any system might have over an individual. And so I think that while the intentions of the survey were good, I think that there is a better way to
to kind of implement those steps. And that an educator like John Dryden, who I took 2 classes with, is a very good example of how to perhaps approach a thing like that. Someone who can make a very personal bond with the student and can reach them in a way that many educators cannot, I think is a resource that the board should consider using. And that the best way to find students who might be at risk is to know them on a personal level, rather than to approach them through the mechanical means of a survey or something like that. And I think that even the most...
About 30 more seconds.
Sorry. I mean, I think that even, perhaps the most dim-witted student would realize, that there is a trap in the survey if they're trying to, hide their illicit behavior. And I just think that something as sensitive as this needs a much more personal touch.
Thank you. Ellen Knauts?
As I was preparing my statements, I realized I was going to go over 3 minutes, so I provided the recording secretary with my original statements and pared it down to 3 minutes, so I will speak quickly. My name is Ellen Knauts, and I have been an HC Storm parent for 9 years. I'm coming to you today with concerns regarding changes that are planned at HC Storm for the 2013-14 school year. In addition, I am here to express my frustration at the timing of the district's communication of these changes. Next year at Storm, music and art classes are being taught from carts in the students' classrooms. When I met with Dr. Newkirk and Mr. McDermott on Friday, they could not assure me that this was a one-year anomaly. With these special changes, HC Storm children will get out of their classrooms for only lunch and recess for 50% of the school days next year. The other change occurring next year at HC Storm is the construction of permanent small rooms in the open space of the first grade and second grade pods. When I met with Dr. Newkirk and Mr. McDermott on Friday, they informed me that these rooms would be utilized by staff performing interventions. However, they were unable to tell me how much time in the day the classroom teachers would have access to these rooms. I'm concerned that the teachers at HC Storm are losing a tool they utilize currently every day to individualize education for their students. Finally, I'm concerned about the quality of education the students will be receiving at HC Storm compared to the other 5 elementary schools. Out of the 5 specials at HC Storm, only gym and LRC will occur outside of the classroom next year. At 4 other elementary schools, all 5 specials have their own area for instruction. The other elementary school has 4 of the 5 specials that have their own area of instruction. In addition, construction due to space issues is only occurring at HC Storm over the summer. HC Storm appears to be bursting at the seams due to several factors, including a spike in student population, the district's K-2 bilingual program being hosted at HC Storm, and the intergovernmental agreement with the Batavia Park District regarding kindergarten enrichment. HC Storm only has 23 regular classrooms, just like Louise White. Grace McWayne and Hooverwood each have 26 classrooms. JB Nelson has 24, while AGS has 31, which includes the early childhood program. Other solutions to HC Storm's ongoing space problem could include moving the K-2 bilingual program. Perhaps the district could break its intergovernmental agreement with the Park District. Another option could be changing the elementary school boundaries if HC Storm is continually experiencing overpopulation issues. Which brings me to my final concern. In December 2012, the teachers of HC Storm were notified of changes for the 2013 school year. At that time, there were 6 regular school board meetings and over 160 days left in the school year. On May 16th, I heard a rumor that there were changes being made for 2013-14 school year, which was 7 business days before the last board meeting of the year, which is this one that I'm counting. The next day, so on May 17th, I requested meetings to get clarification on the rumors. 5 days later, on the night of May 22nd, all HC Storm parents were finally informed via email regarding the changes for 2013 and 14. While the district has been helpful with emailing information to me, it has taken a week or more to get on administrator schedules, which is understandable. but perhaps the district should have taken this into account when determining the timing of communicating to HC Storm parents. The lack of communication regarding these changes has put parents at a disadvantage in making sure that their children are receiving the best education BPS 101 can provide. 3 more sentences. I am asking that the board look into this issue and not be dissuaded by the amount of time that exists between now and the beginning of the next school year. Administration could have been more transparent earlier in the year to give us parents and the board time to understand the changes that are proposed for the next school year at HC Storm. Thank you.
Thank you. In the interest of time, it's 7:40 now. We're going to continue comments for about 20 more minutes. We'll continue on with our agenda, but then we will open it up for comments again after we complete our agenda, just so we can go through our work tonight. Joshua Heisey.
Good evening. I sit here today in humble outrage. I will not pretend to know every detail of the situation. I cannot. I will not pretend to know how to do your jobs. You are the ones sitting behind the board. I am not. And I will not pretend to be an expert in law. I'm a first-year college student. I'm starting my second year at our university. I have only my own research, my personal observations, and the education provided me by the Batavia public school system. That being said, I question today your decision to reprimand Mr. Dryden for his actions. I personally interviewed a couple of parents and students on the subject, as I'm an older brother of a student who took the survey, to ask about some questions, and it seemed to me to be of a self-incriminating nature, and that students were not given the opportunity to opt out of this survey. On the self-incriminating nature of this survey, the Fifth Amendment states, after quite a bit, but in the middle it says, no person shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, or herself as the case may be. By being a disciplinary group and asking the questions on the survey as provided by Student Services without offering an opt-out, students are at risk of incriminating themselves, thereby violating the Fifth Amendment.
About 30 more seconds.
Yeah, okay. Also, with this information that you're requesting, you're going to be liable for the actions of students, not just in the classroom and at school, but also at home, because you're asking personal questions about their home life. I question what would happen if one of these students ended up in a tragedy related to drugs or alcohol, and it was shown later that you had the information that this person was struggling with addiction or with personal problems at home. I feel that that is a situation that the school would be liable for, that they would not want to find themselves liable for. I question the motive to punish an educator who believes in and acts upon what they teach. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Robert Nishawaka.
All the points I've made, I want to make have been said, but I just want to go on record in case you're counting more.
Okay. Thank you. If anyone else is interested in making sure that they're on record, we do get copies of all of the blue forms. So I know anyone who turns one in, all board members will get a copy, and it will become part of our permanent record.
Please stay with that. Please stay. It's written.
Michelle Olaki.
Hi, my name is Michelle Lache, and I'm a citizen here in Batavia. I've come here tonight to ask our new board members to seriously look at the oath that you take as you start your terms. I don't know if you've already been sworn in, but I assume you have. Besides swearing in that you will faithfully discharge your duties in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of Illinois, and the laws of the state of Illinois, you also swear to respect taxpayer interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets. We just received another tax bill. The school district receives the largest portion of those taxes, somewhere around 67%. Although we all want the best education for our children because they are the future, Increasing our taxes to get extra money is not the solution. I respectfully ask you to remember your responsibility is first and foremost to the taxpayers of this district as you go forward in making your decisions as Batavia School Board members. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark Foster.
Hi, thanks. This is nice. I'm Mark Foster. I'm at 208 Webster Street here in Batavia. I've lived in Batavia 30 years. I've had a lot of experience in the past working with the school district as a newspaper reporter for some of the local papers. Had a lot of fun doing that and meeting a lot of great school teachers, including John Dryden. He actually used to come by my newspaper office before he was a school teacher. He used to drop letters to the editor off. Usually criticizing me, and I really benefited from that. I think maybe I enjoyed it a little bit. Maybe I had a thicker skin than maybe some school administrators might. I really want you to think about the motivations that might have been going on here as to why Mr. Dryden was singled out and is being pilloried for doing what he ought to do. I think you as board members are being presented here by the administration with a public relations disaster, and it needs to be cleaned up. You know, you got two real problems here. You're going to have school teachers now who are going to self-censor themselves because they're going to be worried about retribution from the administration. You're also going to have very good school teachers who are looking at where they want to teach, and they're going to say to themselves, you know, I'd really like to come to Batavia to teach because it's an excellent school system, and it is, folks. That's why I live here. That's one of the reasons I love this town. But a lot of teachers might say to themselves, you know, maybe I'll go to Geneva, or maybe I'll go to St. Charles, maybe I'll teach at some other school district because at Batavia they've got an administration that it doesn't let its teachers tell the students the truth, and they've got a school board that lets them get away with it. So my recommendation to you, and I think you owe it to yourselves, you owe it to the community, and you owe it to Mr. Dryden, to immediately and unequivocally reverse this punishment, whatever you want to call it, give him his money back. You know, I understand he was back today. So my time is up. I think something very unjust has been done to Mr. Dryden, but it's also an unjust thing that's been done to the Batavia community. Thank you.
Thank you. Evan Story. Evan Story. Evan Story. Right here into the microphone, sir. You may sit down.
Sure. Hi. Thank you for inviting us out tonight. My name is Evan Story. I was a class of 2000 student. I was a student of John Dryden's in 1999 and 2000 as a history and economics student. I now work at Northwestern University as a software engineer in a social science research group. And so I'm here from Chicago tonight, to voice my opinion that Mr. Dryden is an excellent teacher. I remember him as an excellent teacher. First and foremost, because he is an engaging teacher. He has a unique ability to motivate students to action and to learning and to do their own research. He motivates students to do their homework. And so, you know, I guess what I want to emphasize here is that the story that I've only until now read about of this survey being distributed that, you know, has Fifth Amendment implications. He managed to use the survey. He managed to use this as a very relevant example to a lesson that he had just given. And to me, that is the hallmark of an excellent teacher, that the instructor can make the material relevant to students' actual lives. So, you know, I think this is just very much in line with what I remember of him. He's a remarkable teacher.
About 30 more seconds.
Thank you. So, and I think the other thing I want to add is simply that, it may seem odd that a software engineer would be commenting on these sorts of things. This kind of analysis, this kind of sort of the ability to question, to give voice to, potential flaws in the process that somebody may be looking at. These are things that I do on a daily basis. I do this every day. It is my job to pick apart other people's arguments. And John Dryden does an excellent job of instructing his students in how to do this. So I guess I would conclude with, I believe John should be rather than being condemned, I believe he frankly ought to be praised.
Thank you. Appreciate your enthusiasm, but the longer you clap, the less time I've got to let people talk before we break to the rest of our agenda. So I'm just trying to give everyone a chance. Casey O'Brien. Oh, he's up front.
He's up here.
I'm Casey O'Brien, 504 Young Avenue, Batavia. I've known John for about 10 years. I don't think I have to cover the Fifth Amendment or the survey, which I don't know that much about. I want to introduce you to his character. I have a restaurant here in town, and we lost an employee to a car accident. And it was one of John's students. And it was two of the students in the car accident. And we were thinking, inviting everyone back from the funeral to our restaurant. Come to be told, there was like 300 people, mostly kids, students. And this story kind of chokes me up every once in a while, I apologize. But we were sitting there, well, we're not going to have the employees bartend or serve these people. And, we wanted to be out there, so John was there and he goes, I'll bartend, I'll serve. And I'm looking at him going, really? You know how to bartend? I said, yeah. And he's like, wow, I mean, these are students of yours, a lot of these kids. They don't want to talk to you and, I don't know how you're going to do it. He goes, I can do it. And for kind of 3 or 4 hours, over 300 people and students, and all work hard. And he recognized some, most of their ages as well, knew exactly what graduating year. And John pulled it off. Everyone loved it. They loved seeing their teacher there. And then afterwards, he went out and he stuck around for the moment and until the whole thing was over, and just went to each and every one of the students. This man is amazing, and I hope you can take that in consideration on your decision, because it's only fair for him. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mike Blake? Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Mike Blake, 507 South Batavia Avenue in Batavia. I've lived here for over 20 years. And I've known John for that entire time, and probably more than that. And I think we all can understand and agree that John can be obstreperous and in your face. But that's part of his charm. I don't want to add to anything that anyone else has said, but all I have to say is all your teachers are educated. I'm assuming that all of you are educated. And out of all of you and all of your teachers, John Dryden is the only person that picked up that this survey was violating your students' rights. And he enforced those rights. And I think you should not censure John Dryden for doing this, but you should thank him for pointing out to all of you and everyone in this room that there's more to this. We all know he had good intentions, but the survey clearly violates the Fifth Amendment rights, the right to privacy of these students, and possibly some HIPAA laws. So I think you should thank John, not censure him, and hold him up to be the educational hero that he is rather than the educational provider. Thank you.
Piper. Morgan Piper.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
Hi, everyone. My name is Morgan Piper, and I am currently a sophomore at Batavia High School. I'm in Mr. Dryden's class at the moment, and I was in his class during the time of the survey. And it was given to every third block class, I believe, or that's when we took it. And as a teacher, I really appreciate him because he has made me think outside the box and has caused me to find a love for learning that I haven't found before. And he really, his drive and love for history is so amazing, and I've never ever encountered a teacher that loves what they teach. He knows it, he loves it, he gets excited when you ask questions. It just amazes me, and it makes you truly want to learn as a student. And for that, I really appreciate him. And he'll definitely go as a teacher that I remember for the rest of my life. And I appreciate him very much because of that. And also my parents weren't able to make it today because my mom is a teacher as well. But one point she makes out, she wanted me to make clear, is that Mr. Dryden does not expect our daughter to side with any viewpoint presented, but no reason to support her ideas and communicate with them. He, in class, makes us think about what he's saying and doesn't expect us to agree with him, but makes us think about our opinions and what matters. And I think this survey and what he was trying to do was only to protect us, and for that, I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Olivia Mole? Olivia Mole? Oh, there she is.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Okay, yeah, I'm in Dryden's third block class 2, and I just want to say that, okay, a couple weeks prior to the survey, we learned all about the Bill of Rights and the amendments, and we learned, you really went into depth with it, and you taught us so much, all the details and stuff, and that day, he didn't do anything wrong, he just handed us out the survey like all the other teachers, and all he said was, he just informed us of our Fifth Amendment right. He didn't say that something bad was going to happen to us if we filled it out. He didn't inform us not to fill it out. He just informed us of our right. And I feel like he didn't do anything wrong because we were learning about that right before, a couple weeks before. So he was pretty much teaching us what he was just teaching us, and he didn't do anything wrong.
Thank you. Meg Humphrey? Meg Humphrey?
Yes.
Hi, Meg Humphrey, 517 Blaine Street, Batavia. I'm coming here really as a concerned parent. As a parent, I was not made aware that a survey was going to be issued to my son, and basically was not given any opportunity to protect his privacy rights, as I see them as being, kind of more important than the district's solution to addressing social and emotional standards that have been, issued by the state. And my concern at this time is, I've been assured that any record of anything he responded to was removed from his school records. And my concern is with the third party now that has a hold of a lot of personal information about all of our students and how that will be retrieved and destroyed. And so I think as a school board that you guys need to figure out a mechanism for that, because I really am not okay with the fact that that kind of personal information is just out there for the taking.
Thank you. Anais Peterson?
I'm Anais Peterson. I'm a freshman at Batavia. And I want to thank you guys for what you're trying to do with the survey. We're trying to protect the people who need the help. But I think that you guys you're scared. You're scared of getting a call from either the school or as the school from the parent of my child's just been arrested for having illegal drugs. My child's passed out on the floor for drinking too much alcohol.
my child is dead, they just committed suicide. You're trying to protect those guys. But what happened is every student, when I took that survey, they knew in the back of their heads that something isn't right. They knew that they shouldn't have to write down on a piece of paper that they do drugs every day, or they think about suicide every day. What Mr. Dryden did is he just simply took that voice in the back of their head and he gave them the legal reasoning. He didn't take anything that wasn't already there. He gave them the reason that they didn't have to do this, and it wasn't wrong. It's written in our Constitution. So I want to thank you guys for what you're trying to do, and I'd also like you guys to think about what Mr. Dryden did and that he didn't do anything wrong.
Ralph Henning? I see a hand. Good evening.
Ralph Henning, 940 Hodge Lane. Been a resident here for about 12 years, and this is my first board meeting. I don't know John Dryden, only by reputation. But what I wanted to ask the board is about if they ever examined the emotional stress that when you approved the form and the validity of the data by putting the name on these forms to the students. So my comment and my question really has to be, it really comes down to this. Was the appropriate ethical review done on these questions? Did you submit it to the APA? If you did, I'd like to get a copy of it, know where it's published. And if it isn't, I'd like to know the reason why it wasn't.
Thank you. Jordan Repka? Jordan Repka? No Jordan? Alexander Swenson? Is he back there? Alexander Swenson? Is he coming or no answer?
I don't think so.
Okay, thank you. That was actually all of our comments for this evening. I appreciate that everyone tried to stick to the time limit and allowed us to hear from everyone. That's very important input. We'd like to move on to section 4. We'd like to recognize our partners in education. Is there anybody from BESPA who would like to address the board this evening? Tony Millay, our BEA president, is invited to address the board. Oh, he's back there. I didn't see him either. Good evening, Tony.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to welcome everyone to the school board meeting. We'll be spending some time together over the next couple of 4 years. Enjoy.
No, we won't.
First of all, my comments, I'd like to congratulate the accounting team. It's an honor to teach students that work so hard to excel. And we're truly privileged to have students like that. Also, I'd like to thank Nick. I've enjoyed your comments in the board meetings and even taking my suggestions when I forget to say something. I appreciate that. The next thing, as I've talked about in the past, we've had, or the BEA has decided to implement a system of appraisal advocates, as we were calling them. We've decided to change the name to appraisal consultants because we feel that better sums up what the purpose, and the purpose is to help the professionals to continuously improve professionally and to navigate the new appraisal system that we're implementing. And that holds us to very high standards, which we support. We have selected 16 appraisal consultants, and we've been working with the CEC. And over the summer, those 16 consultants will be going through the Growth Through Learning training modules that all the administrators had the privilege of doing last year, which I think they enjoyed very much. The next thing, on May 8th, we had a summit. I think I spoke the last time that we were going to be doing this in our regular monthly meeting back in February, I believe it was, we decided that as a lot of change in administration and to make sure we continue to have a collaborative relationship, it was important to start off on the right foot. And so we had this summit planned and had CEC assistants. Mary McDonald came and helped us out. And at the last minute, Brad asked if we would mind doing it out at his mother's cooking school, which was very enjoyable. We enjoyed that very much. And best of all, it was a very productive day, I think, in building some collaborative relationships and continue to be confident that we're going to be able to continue this strong collaborative working relationship that we have in Batavia. The next thing I'd like to mention, I'm very pleased to see that the House and Senate, both and the governor, passed and signed the moratorium, House Bill 494, to push off the virtual charter schools for 1 year. And we will continue to be working with IEA and NEA and the district and other locals, other school districts of the 18 to make sure that that money grab doesn't happen. If there is to be virtual charter, it needs to be for the right reason, that it needs to be for kids and to help those kids. And we're not opposed to having alternatives for kids that it might serve better. So we're going to keep up the vigilance on that. The next thing, as you've all heard, pensions, and you've heard me talk about it for years now, or well, not all of you, you're going to hear me talk about it. The coalition, We Are One coalition, supports and has worked with Senate President Cullerton to craft a bill which has passed the Senate, Senate Bill 2404. We believe it meets our requirements of being sustainable, fair, and most importantly, constitutional, which none of the other plans are constitutional. So really, there's only one option out there that can pass constitutional muster. I would encourage everyone to contact their legislators to let them know that you want something that's done about pensions, that's constitutional, that's legal. Next, in July, beginning of July, as every year, is the NEA Representative Assembly, where we set our platform at the national level. Education issues are discussed, the budgets, and that will be held in Atlanta this year. I will be attending along with Vice President Amy Biancarri and Neil Pleckham from the high school. We will be representing Batavia. We will also be, Batavia will be defending our record, or our first place position as the #1 contributor to the NEA fund, which supports education issues in the state of Illinois. And lastly, I would just say, I'll hold any comments that I have for John Dryden for the appeal hearing later on. And the one comment that I would say is I just hope that after I'm teaching for as many years as he has, I would have that many students come to bat for me.
Item 5 is our consent agenda. The consent agenda is a method of streamlining our meeting by taking one vote on a number of routine personnel and business items. Each of the items is detailed in the agenda and has been appropriately posted in the board packet. Dr. Mann, would you read the consent agenda?
Absolutely. Section 5.1 is the approval of board minutes. Tonight they will be approving the minutes of April 23rd, 2013, and along with a special meeting on April 23rd, special meeting of May 7th, and the board reorganization meeting of May 7th, 2013. Section 5.2, approval of personnel items. Subsections 1 and 2 are the employment and resignation of administration. Sections 3, 4, and 5 are amended retirement, resignation, and reemployment of certified staff. Section 5.2.6 is the new employment of certified staff. Subsections 7 and 8 are change in FTE of certified staff. Subsections 9 and 10 are the retirement and resignation of classified staff. Subsection 11 is the new employment of classified staff. Subsection 12 is the decrease in FTE of classified staff. Subsection 13, request of leave of absence, and subsection 14 is the request of a leave of absence extension. Subsection 15 is a leave of absence adjustment, and subsection 16, graduate school tuition agreement. Section 5.3 are the routine financial items, including the net payrolls of the last 30 days and the bill listing for this evening. Section 5.4 is the acceptance of the treasurer's reports, including revenue and expense summaries and the fund balance report. Section 5.5 is the approval of the destruction of audio recordings. Section 5.6, we will be approving the donations of the Illinois Youth Tobacco Survey, donated painting, a donation from J.P. Morgan Chase, and the donation we saw earlier, the American Institute of CPA's grant. Section 5.7 are the FOIA requests for the past month from Brian McSherry, Susan Sarkauskas, Jake Griffin, Ellen Knauts, Craig Wall, and another from Ellen Knauts. Section 5.8 is the approval of the disposal of surplus property. Section 5.9 is the approval of the computer lease. Section 5.10 are the approval of the buildings and grounds summer construction contracts, which will include the JBN asphalt improvements, the Rotolo track improvements, the JBN and HC Storm concrete repairs, the Rotolo retaining wall improvements. However, please note we will be removing JBN lighting upgrades from the consent agenda and moving it to action. So that is the one modification that Dr. Barshinger mentioned earlier. So section 5.10.5 comes off consent and moves to its own action item. Section 5.11, the approval of the collaboration stations. Section 5.12, the approval of board policy 8:25, community relations. And section 5.13, the approval of auditors. That concludes the consent agenda.
Are there any other items on the consent agenda for removal or clarification?
I would like to remove item 5.10.5 from the consent agenda.
Okay. Any others?
What is that?
The lighting upgrade.
JB Nelson Lighting.
Any other questions? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda with 5.10 subsection 5 removed?
So moved.
Moved by Gaspar,
Second.
second by Hodge. Oh, sorry, forgot who was sitting over there. Remove people. Kathy, will you call the roll?
Blakely,
Yes.
Gaspar.
Yes.
Hodge.
Yes.
Luck.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Dremel.
Yes. Consent agenda is approved, removing item 5.10-5.5. And you know what we didn't talk about?
We would like to change the recommendation. And
Right.
Dr. Mon, do you want to talk
Yeah, I
about?
was gonna
You want me to do that right now?
Yeah.
Cool. And I'll also ask Mr. Pat Brown to come up to the table, please, to address. With the JBN lighting upgrades, we received bids, and we received one very competitive bid, a very low bid. However, that bid was since pulled. I believe that there were errors or omissions in the bid that they submitted, which meant quite a large leap in the price. And as we discussed with the Finance Committee today, we have another possible method of delivery that could save us about $50,000 or 25% off of the next lowest bid. So as we discussed with Finance Committee, we are recommending rejecting all of the JBN lighting bids. I've asked Mr. Brown to be here if you have any further questions over the details, but the administrative recommendation would be to reject all of the bids for the JBN lighting upgrades, and we will proceed in preparing documents to procure this service through a different method.
So our action is actually to reject all the bids.
Reject
right?
all
That's
bids
your-
for the JBN lighting contract.
Okay. Any questions on this portion of the? Okay, if we have no more questions, are we going to take each of these by themselves, correct?
There's only one action.
Right, but then we'll have 3 more action items
Yes.
under section
Yeah.
6. Okay, so if there's no more questions, do I have a motion to reject all bids for the JB Nelson lighting project?
Second.
Okay, moved by Locke, second by Blakely. Kathy, will you call the roll?
Blakely,
Yes.
Gaspar.
Yes.
Hodge.
Yes.
Luck.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Dremel.
Yes. Okay, under agenda item number 6, there are 3 administrative reports that will require action. First, Chris Mon will present the approval of the 2012-2013 budget amendment.
Yes. You have an updated amended budget summary at your station, along with an updated board memo. As I said during the public hearing, only a few minor modifications have happened since the budget was put on display back in April, and the net effect of those was actually $14,000 to the positive for us. So we're still very similar to where we were in the beginning of the year in terms of surplus. We have seen an overall increase in both revenues and expenses proportionately from where we were in September. But I would be happy to answer any questions you have over individual funds or in any of the individual objects, but I would ask for your approval.
Does anyone have any questions for Dr. Mann? No questions? All right, seeing no questions, do I have a motion to approve the budget amendment as presented?
So moved.
Moved by Stoops. Second by Blakely. Kathy, will you call the roll?
Blakely?
Yes.
Gaspar?
Yes.
Hodge?
Yes.
Locke?
Yes.
Stoops?
Yes.
Trammell?
Yes.
Yeah, it needs to pass.
Let me put on my script. Motion passed.
Yes.
And now Dr. Mann will present the food service contract.
Yes, as you can see in the background of the board memo, because of our desire to expand breakfast throughout our schools, we needed to go back out to bid for our food service contract. From the business office, we had Ron O'Connor, our Assistant Director of Finance, lead this process, so I'd ask him to come to the table to present the results of the bid and the recommendation to the board.
Thank you again for your time. What we did was we're part of the National School Lunch Program, which is it's federally assisted, as well as we're looking to add, as Dr. Mann said, a breakfast program to every single building in the district. In order to do that, we needed to rebid because last year, Aramark, they bid at $2.44 per lunch meal, but they did not put the breakfast price down. So what we did was we went to the state, to ISB, we talked to them and we said, what can we do to ensure that we're going to have breakfast at all of our buildings? And what they said was, well, you can do it at Hooverwood, which we did. The staff there was incredible. Vermishine and his staff, they went all out. But if you wanted it at all the other sites, you're going to have to go out to bid again. So we know that, we did it going in, and we ended up doing another invitation for bid. And Quest is who won at $2.32 per meal at lunch and a breakfast charge of $1.30. I've had nothing but great discussions with them already. They've already met with the middle school, some of the high school. They're creating food committees, so if any students are interested in that, please contact them or me. Also, they met with some of the other staff. They want to ensure that they go off on the right foot. Some of the districts that they have are Hinsdale 86, 181, Glenbrook 225, Orland 135, Lake Forest 67, Lincolnshire 103. And the interesting thing about Quest in particular was that they didn't bid on our contract last year. They actually told me, we only bid on contracts where we know we're going to do that good a job, where it's going to be the best program there is. So when we saw them in the running this year, we knew that they were up to the task, and they will be. So that's where we're at. If there are any questions, please let me know.
Any questions for Mr. O'Connor about our school lunch? No questions? Then do I have a motion to approve the budget, the school lunch contract?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Hodge, second by Gaspar. Kathy, will you call the roll?
Blakely?
Yes.
Gaspar?
Yes.
Hodge?
Yes.
Locke?
Yes.
Stoops?
Yes.
Trammell?
Yes. Motion passed. Next, Dr. Mann will present the employee benefits contract.
Yes, tonight we have two contracts for your approval for the insurance plans for our employees for next year. As outlined in the board memo, what we are asking you to approve is the renewal with Blue Cross Blue Shield at an annual increase of 9%, and also the renewal with our dental plan with Delta Dental, which is a stable increase. I believe we've outlined that the 9% increase is slightly above what we had used in our projections of 8%. We've been fortunate with many years of decent premium increases, so we had lowered our projections, and this year it came in slightly higher. However, the dental plan, we normally project a 5% increase, and it did come in stable, so that's a slightly offsetting cost. There is also the vision insurance, which is part of Delta Dental, which was also a stable increase. We also outlined the other two benefit contracts. Since this is a new board, we wanted to give you the information on all of our benefit contracts. And we did talk to you in the memo about a flexible spending plan. However, we were not able to get all of the paperwork ready for you, so we are not bringing that for your approval. We are only asking for the approval of the Blue Cross Blue Shield and the Delta Dental contracts at this time.
Does anyone have any questions for Dr. Mon on the benefit contracts?
The only thing is, at the Finance Committee this afternoon, the flex spending is going to be brought up later on after more information and more details that you figure out, right?
Well, yeah, this will be worked into next year's budget, which the tentative budget for next year will come to the board in June. We didn't want to cross over budget presentations. So, yeah, these rates have already been factored into our software system as we project our personnel costs for next year, and that will be coming in June.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, do I have a motion to approve the two benefit insurance plans? Moved. Moved by Blakely. Second by Locke. Kathy, would you call the roll?
Blakely?
Yes.
Gaspar?
Yes.
Hodge?
Yes.
Locke?
Yes.
Judith?
Yes.
Dremel?
Yes. Motion is carried. Next, our item is just for discussion. Mr. Newkirk will present information. No board action is required.
Thank you for just a few minutes to talk a little bit about the Curriculum and Assessment Advisory Council, which was started this year, as well as the Professional Learning Advisory Council. As Tony puts this up, I'll talk briefly about what this model is. One of our continuing objectives is to bring more teacher voice to the areas of curriculum and instruction, and this model helps kind of frame out some of our thinking about bringing teacher voice to the curriculum and assessment process, as well as professional learning, which is about improving instruction. All of these are ways for giving teachers voice in this process and providing information and work for continuous improvement. So in this collaborative model, we have school leadership teams at each of our buildings where teachers can provide leadership and be leaders within their building with the aim of improving school performance. We have the Batavia Educational Program Review process, which allows teachers to participate in reviewing our programs and helping to set budget priorities. We, in the past, have not had that other axes, the Curriculum Assessment Advisory Council and the Professional Learning Advisory Council. Those are groups that were formed and started this year for the express purpose of collaborating with teachers around those areas. So I gave you a brief update about the information that the group has been working on in the board packet, but I just wanted to highlight a couple of pieces of work from both of those groups. The groups are made up of teacher representatives that are appointed by our union partners, as well as administrators from each level. There are non-voting members, including myself, and a board representative as well. Tina Blakely serves on the Professional Learning Advisory Council and is a great input for us about Board of Education policies and how this is impacted at the board level. So I want to talk a little bit about the Curriculum and Assessment Advisory Council. And can we go to the next slide? One of our first objectives, besides establishing effective teaming norms, was to have a clear purpose. And one of our purpose statements was about providing a very comprehensive way for evaluating our curriculum. With the changes to the Common Core, Next Generation Science Standards, Early Learning Standards, it's imperative that we have a process in place to examine effectively our curriculum to make sure it's not only meeting those standards, but the standards of our community. This was one of the deliverables. It's part of a larger packet of information that the group helped work through to really scaffold out that improvement process. So the group looked at what are the pieces that are essential for going through our curriculum and deciding if there are revisions needed, development of curriculum needed, or if that curriculum needs no updates at that time. We need a way of verifying that as well. You can see that this is based on the Plan, Do, Study, Act model, where there's extensive planning around looking at the curriculum, examining student achievement and parent feedback data, creating, developing, or revising curriculum, piloting that curriculum on small and large scales, and then moving towards studying the results and then acting on the curriculum. And that's where the curriculum would come back to the Board of Education. Once it's gone through this entire process, there would be an opportunity for the board to learn about our work, and then they obviously have final approval over the curriculum. So we would bring that work of our teachers and our staff back to the Board of Education for your approval. One of the interesting pieces that we've not had in any process for curriculum before is conducting an external review. This was something that we saw in District 93, which is near Carroll Stream, where each of their curriculums, as it was developed, went through an external review process. So we contact experts in the field, whether it's mathematics, science, and ask them to look at the curriculum and give us their feedback to make sure that the curriculum we're developing meets high standards. So that is one feature of that process. So besides kind of setting a vision for the next 3 to 5 years for curriculum and assessment, that group has been busy working on documents such as these to guide those processes. With the Professional Learning Advisory Council, we did look extensively at board policy related to professional development. We used that information to develop a mission statement for professional learning within the district, and it's something that I'm excited to see underfoot. We feel that supporting our teachers with the vast amount of changes that are coming at us is something that's extremely important, and we're looking for different ways to support them. Several meetings ago, we talked about instructional coaching. That is one vehicle for delivering high-quality, job-embedded professional development to our teachers, and that Professional Learning Advisory Council will be monitoring the development and the progress that the instructional coaches within the district will be making next year as we pilot that. What the Professional Learning Advisory Council, and Tina, feel free to jump in here at any point, what we've based the work off of is that we have a very simple equation of belief. We believe that effective professional learning does change educator skill, knowledge, dispositions, and practices. So when we go through that learning process, that growth process, there is change. And that change has a very positive impact on student learning. So if we're really interested in targeting and improving student learning, especially in a high-performing district such as Batavia, if you're looking to take it to the next level, it's really about professional learning and providing high-quality, job-embedded professional learning for all of our staff. So that's kind of the simple equation that group has worked off of, as well as examining board policy, setting agenda for professional learning for the next 3 to 5 years.
That's it.
All I have.
I was waiting for another slide. Does anyone
Please
have any
slide.
questions for Dr. Newkirk about this tonight?
Brad, I just want to say, I think it's a lot of work that went in with you and the DEA staff, with the collaboration and all that, and I was going over a lot of this in the grids. There's a lot I like about this in detail, so I have a lot of questions, but I will wait a future time and we'll talk a little bit.
Great.
But I think it's going in the right step, and of everybody working together, and I like what I'm seeing. So.
Great, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, then we are going to turn to our student ambassadors for any comments and information they'd like to share with us tonight. You don't have to, but they can hear you better if you're in front of the microphone.
The microphone, you won't be on, I know.
Thank you.
We want to make sure they
We're not going to compel you.
grab you
Just
out.
appreciate it.
So we have a lot of congratulations. I have not been here for the past 2 months. I apologize. Track meets.
We missed you.
So congratulations to all the new board members, Mrs. Locke, Mr. Stutes, Mr. Gaspar. It'll be fun seeing you here once a month. Congratulations to Mrs. Grummel for being president, Mr. Hod for being vice president.
Thank you.
We wish Dr. Barshinger a happy retirement, so good luck there. We'd also give our congratulations to the accounting team. and for prom, which went smoothly without a hitch. It was a ton of fun. We both partied it up. It was great. All safe and fun and wonderful. We'd also like to congratulate the state athletes for track, especially senior Sebastian Vermas, RJ Bierkel, Amy Gladys, and Skylar Schoen for really putting it out there their senior year. And congratulations and a happy retirement to Nick. He's going to be leaving me after one very fun-filled year. So I'm excited to, have someone new and not be the trainee anymore. But we'll miss you. It was a blast.
My turn. I just want to thank everyone on the board and Dr. Kitchens for giving me this opportunity to speak on behalf of all the students at Batavia High School. It's a lot of fun. I've learned a lot about how actually everything goes on from a board policy being thought about here, proposed, ratified, and actually put into process and works at the high school. And being able to know that made it a lot easier to talk to kids about it and get it onto their level. Like, no, you can't have off-campus lunch. You got 30 minutes. You got to get there. You got to get back. That's not going to happen. Learned that the hard way. Other than that, my final comment will be enlightful. I just wanted to comment on the whole Dryden thing. I'm actually one of the students that refused to take the survey. I wasn't in his class. I did not know anything about it. I just personally thought it was a little too personal. I know a lot of students in my class felt the same exact way, but a lot of kids took the test. The problem with it was really, I felt like if you really want to know what's going on in our heads, you should have called this down individually, down to counseling and advising, and had a professional talk to us other than just having a piece of paper with our name that goes from us through some other kids in our row to a teacher, to a workroom, to administrators, to its final destination. I just didn't feel like that was right. I didn't know if I could take it or not. I thought I was going to get in trouble. So I just said, you know what? Why not? I didn't take it. So that's my opinion. Yep.
All right, thank you. Dr. Barshinger, do you have any comments for this evening?
Not this evening, thank you.
Do any of our board members have any comments for this evening?
I will.
All right.
I have just a few things, so I typed it out so I can go quick. I'd like to congratulate all the participants in the Rock the Runway show at the BFAC on Friday, May 10th. It was an enjoyable evening to see the talent of our young students in the fine arts area. I want to wish all the retirees a thank you for all the years of service they gave to Batavia and wish them well in their future. Wish all the honorees for the different years of service so far, and anyone that received a higher degree of education within the last year, and that was at the staff recognition event. I also attended the National Honor Society induction at the high school. It was a nice honor bestowed on the inductees for all the hard work they do. Congratulate the students today for their hard work in the accounting and all that. I'm sorry I missed the honors night. I had a meeting that went long, so I would have liked to at least seen them get praise. I want to also wish all the new hires great success here in Batavia's school system for the coming year. And I want to congratulate and wish all the graduating members of the class of 2013 success in all their future endeavors. Once they leave Batavia High School, good luck to all the graduates. And finally, I want to thank everyone that emailed the board or came out tonight to voice their opinion and concern about the issue at hand. I just want to remind everyone that we need good communication all around, and it is okay to agree to disagree with any subject matter or outcome that happens. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Anyone else have any comments they'd like to make this evening?
I too just want to thank the public for coming out and making the comments on all the matters, different matters, and we do listen to them. I do appreciate that. And I want to thank Nick for your 2 years of service and what's your plans for the future. Just a question.
President.
Good, somebody wants the job. That's good. That's very good.
Good luck.
Anyone else?
Or I should say, be careful what you wish for.
Again, many congratulations to the accounting team and to the new hires. We have 2 new assistant principals that will be starting with us, so congratulations to them. And also, I did want to say good luck, and thank you to all those teachers who will be leaving and retiring or going somewhere differently. I'm very glad prom went well. I was glad to hear that was a great weekend and fun had by many. And congratulations to the class of 2013 this Friday. We're looking forward to it. I know all of us are looking forward to it. Thank you, Nick, for all you did. And thank you for everyone coming out tonight and speaking to us. We appreciate it, and we will hear what you're saying. Thank you.
I'll just go quick. I'd like to thank the retiring teachers from Batavia. I'd also like to welcome the new hires that are going to be joining our school district here. Nick, just being an observer for most of your tenure here, I've enjoyed your comments, and I wish you the best in your future endeavors. You're definitely going to succeed. I can see it. I want to congratulate the graduates of 2013 for their great success and wish them the best in their future endeavors as well. And I'd like to thank the public for coming out and voicing their concerns and comments as well.
Real quickly, I'd like to thank everyone for taking time out of their evening to come here tonight. We do listen, and I do appreciate it. I would like to congratulate all the graduates. Well-deserved effort on your part to get to high school. I appreciate all the hard work, and congratulations. I would also like to congratulate a board member, John Gaspar, who's retiring this year. Congratulations, and I wish you well on your new endeavor here.
Don't think you get to
One part of education
Yes,
to another.
from one part to another. So I wish you well.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
And I would just like to reiterate that it is very valuable to have public comments. I appreciate the fact that everyone tried to be succinct, shared their opinions, were respectful, and it's really valuable to hear your voices and be a part of this process. So we appreciate it. I'm now going to entertain a motion. Oh, I'm sorry. You had your turn.
I just meant to say, I also wanted to publicly thank Kathy Roberts for her years of service as a board member. I didn't get a chance to speak to her before. She gave her letter of resignation, and just wanted to publicly thank her for everything she did.
And thank you for that reminder, Greg.
I'm sorry.
That's good. Now, I would like to entertain a motion to enter into closed session to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee of the public body or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity, or litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for the finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting. Do I have a motion? Motion.
John.
So moved. Moved by Blakely, second by Black. Kathy, would you call the roll? You're chatting, but I didn't hear you.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
All right.
You have to use the washroom. So thank you, everyone, for your patience while the board conducted deliberations on how to proceed this evening. We understand and appreciate the concern shown by our parents and our staff members for the welfare of our students. In all the things we do, the best interests of our students must and will always come first. Please understand that much of the information discussed in closed session is confidential and cannot be shared. However, there is some context that I feel would be appropriate to share. In this case, district teachers, social workers, guidance counselors, psychologists, and others worked together for over a year to select a data gathering instrument that could be used to determine what social or emotional issues our high school students are experiencing and whether individual students could benefit from new or increased supportive intervention by our staff. These purposes were shared with our parents and our teachers. We understand that some people feel we could do a better job explaining our goals and a better job working hand in hand with parents on these sensitive issues, and we will. The board is asking the administration to take steps in the future to increase parental awareness and transparency when gathering data about sensitive issues such as mental health or substance abuse issues. When a plan of action is developed, we will share those details with our community. That That being said, the issue before the board tonight is whether one employee has the right to mischaracterize the efforts of our teachers, counselors, social workers, and others, and tell our students, in effect, that the adults are not here to help, but that they are trying to get you to incriminate yourselves. As an example on our emphasis of helping students, our extracurricular code of conduct provides that if a student self-reports a first-time drug, alcohol, or tobacco violation within 48 hours, the student can continue to participate in the extracurricular activity by agreeing to undergo substance abuse assessment, treatment, and education. We try to create an environment where students know that if they want help, we're here to provide it. Disagreement with district directive initiatives has happened before and it will happen again. What this board does not and will not support is any employee giving students false impressions about the motivations of those who come here every day to try to improve the lives of the students entrusted to our care. At no time was student discipline discussed or contemplated as a response to disclosures made by our students. I sincerely hope that a student who might have been thinking about reaching out for help was not discouraged from doing so. I believe I'm correct that the board does not wish to revisit the suspension issued by the administration. Next, we have a recommendation from the administration for the board to issue a notice of remediation. A notice to remedy is a written warning issued by a school board that warns the employee of improper conduct and the possible consequences thereof. I will entertain a motion to approve the resolution authorizing a notice of remediation to employee number 052813.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Blakely, second by Locke. Kathy, would you call the roll?
Blakely.
Yes.
Gaspar.
No.
Hodge.
Yes.
Locke.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Dremmel.
Yes. Motion passes. Oh, resolution passes, excuse me. Okay, now we're 2
Under personnel, the board has several other items for this evening. Next item would be for the board to approve the revisions to the administrative benefit plan as discussed in closed session.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Blakely, second by Hodge. Kathy, would you call the roll?
Blakely.
Yes.
Gaspar.
Yes.
Hodge.
Yes.
Locke.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Dremmel.
Yes.
Next item, under personnel, approve a 1% salary increase for Dr. Jan Wright for the 13-14 school year.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Blakely, second by Locke. Kathy, would you call the roll?
Blakely.
Yes.
Gaspar.
Yes.
Hodge.
Yes.
Locke.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Dremmel.
Yes.
And the
Motion approved.
excuse me. And finally, the last item would be to approve a correction to Dominic Catero's contract for 2012-13 and set the same salary for 13-14 at $82,783.
Do I have a motion for this correction and approval of the contract?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Blakely, second by Locke. Kathy, would you call the roll?
Blakely.
Yes.
Gaspar.
Yes.
Hodge.
Yes.
Locke.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Dremmel.
Yes. Motion approved.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Blakely, second by Gaspar. We are adjourned. Oh, I'm sorry, call the roll. I got a little impatient there.
Yes.
Yes.
Hodge.
Yes.
Locke.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Dremmel.
Yes. Can I have one down?
Yes.
We are adjourned.